Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Had a pretty good day. How about yourself?
I am doing pretty well. Just put my two kids to sleep. All I have is time right now with you.
That's nice.
So,
Nice and peaceful. I like that. I like that.
yeah.
All right, so let's just get into it. I'll just go over what the whole purpose of this interview is. Basically, we're going to talk about your life, the troubles and the challenges and the successes you went through, and just so you can just share about all the things you went through in your life, so the people who are watching at home can learn something from you, pick up the tips and tricks here and there, and just get a little bit more value out of what your experiences basically. And so, going off that, can you introduce yourself to the audience?
My name is Nomin Batbold, but people usually call me Nomin.
Hmm.
And I am the Marketing and Partnerships Director at Mongolian Esports Association.
Hmm.
And I do have two kids and a husband. So I am a working mom
Ooh,
currently.
okay. Tough
And
job. Tough
we
job.
do run a family business. My husband does.
Oh, okay.
We do have like a greenhouse business. So basically, you just said like you want me to talk about like what I went through in the past. Is it okay to mention company names?
That's up to you. It's completely up to you. Everything's cool here.
Okay, listen.
All right. So I know personally from just knowing you in general, I know you've lived in the US for a good while actually. You've finished your degree there. How was it to be back in your home country? How is it back to be in Mongolia?
So I did. I've been in United States maybe like for 8 years.
Hmm.
But it was constant coming back to Mongolia and flew back in. So, like my high school senior year, I studied at Hillsborough High School,
Yeah.
and I came back for the summer, and then I went straight back for my bachelor's degree.
Yeah.
And I do have a degree in economics and business administration, concentrated for international business. And
Yeah.
then after finishing my bachelor's degree, I came back to Mongolia and I started working at the Ministry of Health. And I worked there for about a year and a half. And
Hmm.
then that's when I started my family. I
Ah,
got
yeah.
engaged and so I had my wedding and everything. So I thought maybe like this is a good time to like, stop working and maybe start my master's degree. So I applied to like a private Christian school,
Okay.
Gannon University in Pennsylvania. So I went there and finished my MBA degree actually last
Oh,
May,
wow.
and
Masters.
I finished it in 1.5 year.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I had
Very
two
impressive.
babies. Yeah.
Impressive. Impressive.
And
Okay.
here I am working in the
Yeah.
esports
At the
industry right
esports.
now.
Yeah. Lovely. Lovely. Amazing story. The point of the question was like from a feeling perspective, right? Like, did you miss home? Like, you lived a lot of your life in like US, right? And so like, is that feeling of being close to family, being close to everybody else, is that better, or do you think you like the US lifestyle more, or do you think you like the Mongolian lifestyle a lot more?
Actually, it depends on like what aspect you're looking at.
Hmm.
So I think like price wise, Mongolia is the wiser choice for like get medical health
Yeah.
care. Like all the services are much cheaper over here.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in the United States, the products are good. Everything is organic and healthy, and it's cheaper.
Yeah. Got you.
So it will depend on like when you ask
Well,
that
yeah, yeah,
question.
yeah, yeah.
Right now, I'm enjoying my life in Mongolia,
Yeah.
but there are a few things that like I really do despise in here,
Yeah.
which is the traffic jam.
Yeah.
It is terrible today.
Horrific.
It's
Absolutely
still
horrific.
terrible. It was terrible yesterday. I guess it's just that time of the year
Yeah.
where the traffic is congested because of like all these graduations
Hmm.
and all this like children's days coming up soon.
Yeah.
So I
Oh yeah,
think
that's in a week.
that's like,
Oh, interesting.
hmm?
I don't think I qualify for that anymore, though. I don't know. It's kind of a weird feeling, actually. I'm 20 now. That's kind
Yeah,
of.
when I was in the United States, I even missed the traffic jam because I was like always stepping on my accelerator. And like
Uh,
right now, I'm just hating it to the point where I'm like, oh, I don't want to go outside today. Can you
yeah.
guys make a plan without me?
I get
That's
you.
what's
I get
happening
you.
for
I get
today.
you. I can see that. Yeah, it was bad when I left, and I left in like 2013, and it was horrific back then. I'm just imagining how bad it is now.
Yeah, I do remember. But you went at such a young age. Do you
Yeah,
have
I
a
was
problem
11.
speaking in Mongolian?
Me?
Yeah, do you think about like
Um,
some Mongolian words?
yeah, definitely, definitely. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm perfectly in Mongolian. Like, there do be some words like, they just kind of blanks out, it disappears, and I can't remember a certain word. But overall, though, I can like have a completely normal conversation in Mongolian. I can fully understand what everyone's
So
saying, so I'm pretty chill in that regard.
I do have a problem with that too. Like sometimes some Mongolian words just doesn't come in
Yeah,
into my
exactly. Like you
mind
know what you're
for
trying
a
to
while.
say, but you can't say
So
it.
I
Yeah,
just
that's
end
tough.
up saying it in English, but it's okay since my husband understands me. That's
That's good.
perfect.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And my kids, they actually grew up watching YouTube,
Yeah. It's a good start.
like
Good
because
start.
of COVID and everything.
Yeah,
All they do is just watch YouTube and learn life from YouTube. And
yeah.
they're like perfect. They construct their sentences in perfect English. Like
Yeah,
I
because
talk to them in English all the time because now they don't understand Mongolian.
that's good though. That's good. That's good. Because like
So
because from what I've learned through just running this page and running Way of Life is a lot of people wish they could speak English properly, like fluently, and so your kids be already having that advantage, being ahead of the curve. You can say is going to be huge benefits for them in the future.
I know there are some struggles with like speaking all English in Mongolia.
Yeah,
As
definitely.
for my kids, if they want to enter like an all English speaking kindergarten, the price starts from like $1,000 and up.
Yeah, yeah,
It's per
exactly.
month.
Per
So yes, it's per month. And all like, it's pretty pricey comparing with American
yeah,
schools because if they go to like public kindergarten, they won't pay anything except for
yeah,
paying for the taxes. But
yeah.
it's given.
It's given. That's one of the things you can't like escape from life is taxes. It sure is. All right, so again, we're already talking about your kids. Like, tell us about your family. Like, how are they doing? What do they do? Just like, well, I know your two kids aren't really doing much right now, but like what your husband does and how old are your kids? Anything along those regards.
Yeah, so I do have a girl who's 3 years old and a
Okay.
boy who's 1 years old.
Okay.
1 year old. So my husband, he actually is running a greenhouse company, which is called Utlik Agro Park.
Okay.
Utlik is a Mongolian, I think it's like kind of high level Mongolian word for like, when at the rest stop, when you're like on the way on a trip somewhere, whenever you stop for a rest and then you eat those like, everybody drinks tea and some sausages
I
and
get what
stuff.
you mean. I get what you
So
mean. Yeah.
that's what's called utlik. And
Okay.
I never knew this word before. So, and agra as like um agriculture,
Agricultural.
and
Yeah.
park as like the public
Park.
park.
Yeah. Outside. Yeah.
So the name is that, and we grow like a cucumber, tomato, lettuce.
Oh, it is like a straight farm, and you're selling off the crops and like that. Oh, okay, that's
Yeah, it's
cool.
just like all kinds of crops, and actually there are like it's really amazing because there are only couple brands that actually can provide throughout the winter time too,
Yeah.
and ours is 4 season, all season
Oh,
like
all season.
warehousing,
That is
so
very
we
impressive.
provide it to Mongolian market like throughout all year.
Yeah, exactly. And food is
And
just something like, yeah.
last winter we were the only ones who were providing lettuce in the Mongolian market,
Oh, and just
and I
wow.
think that's yeah, because Mongolia closed the border to China,
Ah,
so
yeah.
there were like nothing. There were like the Chinese products were not coming in.
Yeah.
So, and during that time, I don't know what happened with all the big name companies, and I won't say it because it's like
No
not
drama out here.
appropriate. Yeah. So they weren't able to provide it, but we did throughout the winter, and it is actually pretty cool because we get to eat our stuff fresh,
Oh,
and
yeah,
that's
sure. Very good.
the first thing that why our family started growing this greenhousing, because we wanted to eat, healthy, and we wanted
Non-processed.
to eat
Yeah.
like all organic and healthy stuff.
Gotcha,
And
gotcha.
I think it's better for our future too,
Yeah.
for our kids, and like Mongolians get to have this Mongolian product.
Yeah.
It's in the fine grade.
Also, that I'm just thinking about it now.
Huh.
Oh, sorry, I'm just thinking about it now. Like, you were the only person out here providing lettuce, and like, it must have been a successful period for the business. I'm gonna be honest. Am I correct in making that assumption? Definitely, I feel like.
Yeah, in the winter time, actually, it's really hard for the crops to grow because it's like really cold. It's minus 40 degrees, and with all the
I love
heating and
Mongolian
stuff,
winters.
it was, even though it was like all successful, the expenses were so high as
Okay, so
well.
the profit margins wasn't as
So
high.
yeah, the profit margin was still the same, like
Yeah.
as we do have it in the summer, but I was hoping it would be higher. And like we didn't raise the price much because of the market demand was so high and the supply was so low. All these intermediaries, they get to make a lot of money.
Okay. That's all right.
And that's also what surprised me this year a lot.
Okay.
Like,
so you said you have 2 degrees from the US. So you have your your bachelor's, and then you have also your MBA, your master's, right? Did that how did it affect your ability to get a job in Mongolia? Did it make it easier, or how easier did it make it for you to get a job? Like, did those qualifications really help you, or was it something else?
So with bachelor's degree, I came in for an interview with one of the most prestigious groups in Mongolia.
Yeah.
And what ended up I do have friends of my age who graduated from Mongolian University, and they were able to get a position real quick after graduation, just like that.
Yeah.
But for me, since I didn't know any of the business terms in Mongolian language, it was a really downturn. So I did try to memorize all this Mongolian warnings in business talks. So it was pretty challenging with a bachelor's degree.
Yeah.
But since I had the perfect English at the time, and I did have an opportunity to go into the public sector at the Ministry of Health.
Yeah.
And actually that helped me a lot because I get to expand my connections everywhere.
Yeah.
And I got to write and check all these government documents, which also made my Mongolian vocabulary much better than it was before. So I think it's really important, even though you're learning foreign language, I think it's really important to learn your own language as well.
Definitely.
That's what I had problem with all this, at the interview with all these big name group companies.
Yeah.
But I did end up working for the public sector.
Okay, that's good.
And since the tuition fee was so much higher, and when I went to interview, I do have bachelor's degree, and even though I got it in the United States, I still get the same pay with the Mongolian graduates.
Oh, okay.
So it was so low that I couldn't even wrap my head around.
Yeah.
It's if I work here for 25 years, I could barely make my tuition money.
Yeah.
And it just didn't seem right. It just didn't feel right. So the best choice was to go into the public sector where I could, expand my connection, even though the pay wasn't high. It was higher than those group companies.
Oh, okay.
It was small, but it was still low, like what I had expected.
Yeah.
So my expectations didn't meet up in the salary
Yeah.
point. So it still doesn't meet my expectations on the salary.
Yeah.
But I do hope, in the future, I could grow the company so big into the Asian market. I get to work for my salary. So
Yeah, you
that's
get
what
to
I
be a
have
bigger
in mind
part of
right
it.
now.
Yeah. You get to be the bigger
Yes.
part of the
So
business. Yeah. Oh. Do you think the masters so you got your job at the esports organization before we get into that? Do you think you getting
yeah.
a master's last year that really helped you get into that job, or do you think it was something else?
Actually, with the master's degree, it was so much easier to get a job. With the
Oh.
master's degree, I had perfect 4.0 GPA.
Oh, you were like straight. Oh, okay,
Yeah,
you're a
and
crazy
I had a
student.
baby with it.
Oh, okay, yeah, definitely.
For my MBA, actually, when I was just about to finish, the Amazon was about to open up a new headquarter in my city where I
Yeah,
used to live in Erie, PA. So they wanted to hire a regional manager,
yeah,
and I actually got the interview with them, but I couldn't get it because of green card status and stuff.
yeah,
So and also at the time I could have worked my way up over there, I could have just gone there, but since my mother-in-law just passed
oh,
during that time,
yeah,
so when I was finishing my diploma work and everything, my mother-in-law passed.
yeah.
And I actually, when I was presenting it, I was actually crying while presenting, which
Ah,
was a terrible place to be at. I was smiling, but the tears were coming out
yeah,
and I couldn't do anything. But my two of my professors knew what was happening with my
yeah.
family and stuff. So they were really supportive, and on the Zoom meeting, I was always getting message of encouragement. And
Uh,
whenever I saw those messages, as soon as my tears dropped down, I see those messages. And
yeah,
I just wanted to let it go, but I just finished it. I think it was the longest hour in my life.
yeah. I can
So
imagine.
right now I could talk about it while smiling, but at the time it
Oh
was
yeah, it's horrible.
terrible.
It's
As
terrible.
soon
It's
as I
tragic
finished,
experience.
I couldn't stop crying for 3 hours.
Yeah.
And that's how bad it was. But still I graduated without a hitch and everything. And I was so glad to be back to Mongolia. And before I even got back here, I was offered a chief marketing officer position at one of the insurance companies in Mongolia.
Oh, okay. How come you
So
didn't take
they
that
had
one?
actually they contacted me in April.
Yeah.
So we've been through the hiring process maybe for about a month already, and they were already ready to hire me. They
Yeah.
were like, when will you be back? So when are you flying in? We want to meet you in person. So let us know. And then during that time, everything went sideways. So my mother-in-law's health wasn't doing good. She was
Okay.
about to get a surgery and stuff. My husband left the US to see his mother.
Yeah.
I was left with the two kids and I couldn't handle it at the
Oh my
time.
God. That
So I was
sounds.
like, I just shut down all of my social media accounts
Yeah.
for a while. So the only way that they could reach me was to call my United States phone.
Ah, yeah.
So they were like, why? So we saw you closed your LinkedIn, WhatsApp, and everything. How are you doing, Nomin? Do you still want to be hired for
But yeah, you weren't in
in
the
our
position
company?
to. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just told them honestly, so what was happening in my life,
Hmm.
and I don't think I could be able to do that because I have to take care of my family as soon as I get there. So I did take care of my family in the first 3 months, and at home it was always gloomy. It felt empty
Yeah.
because I couldn't bear it. So I thought, okay, maybe it's just time that I get a job. I gotta keep myself busy. so that I could do everything like that. So like in September, I actually applied for MESA because I just saw their LinkedIn
Oh yeah.
advertisement. So I was like, honey, do you know this MESA? I think they're an esports association. I have no idea what esports is,
Yeah.
but my husband is really interested in esports.
Yeah.
So I was just asking him, and he's like, oh, they are pretty cool. You should try them. And at the same time, I was ready to be hired for like, 4 million Turuks monthly
Yeah.
and plus bonus at one of like, reseller
Okay.
company.
Okay.
They
Yeah.
do bring
4 million is
fashion
a pretty good
products and
amount
then
for a
resell.
month, isn't it? I'm not
Yeah,
very
it
good
was
with
a
the
pretty good
Mongolian
amount.
salary system, but I feel like 4 million is pretty good. I feel like.
Yeah, so I had these two jobs lined up for me.
Yeah.
I mean, not three, not two. There was also Bavaria Motors, BMW
Oh, yeah.
place, and there as a marketing manager, it was not a high position, and I don't think their high was like their pay was high enough. But the hours were from 9 to 5 p.m.
Oh, that's you
So
can't do that
yeah,
with
so
two
I
kids.
didn't see any like future for me over there.
Yeah.
So I didn't consider going into the interview.
Yeah.
But for one, the pay was good enough. So I decided to go meet with them like the next day.
Hmm.
And like that night, we got tested positive for COVID.
Oh my God.
We had been quarantined for 14 days and 10 days. So it's like almost 20 something days passed.
Yeah.
But they're like, okay, when can you start? And during that time, I found MESA. They called me right away. They wanted to meet me like as soon as possible.
Possible. Okay.
So it was the quarantine, the 2 weeks quarantine was over. And the next 10 days is just like, to keep at home, like to recover from this tiredness because everybody got it. The
Yeah.
kids,
Yeah. Yeah.
the husband, everyone. So I was like, I like tested positive, and I think I'm gonna be out soon, and then I can come up maybe next week. And they're like, oh, it's fine. We're all positive. You just come in. So I'm just like, okay, that's kind of funny. Okay, fine. And then I just went there the next day. And
Yeah.
the CEO was like already introducing everyone in the office to me. And then he's like,
You just got the job.
here's our new member.
You didn't even, that wasn't like a interview. It was just like a straight tour. It was like an
I
orientation
know,
more
I
than
just
an
went
interview.
there. And I actually had all my diplomas and everything because I'm like really proud of it. I worked really hard for
Yeah,
it.
I can imagine. A
And
four
then
GPA
I
is
had my
insane.
diplomas and he didn't even look at them. He's like, yeah, we know you got your we saw your resume. You don't have to really show it to us, like I'm like I desperately want to show my diploma to you. I ended up showing it.
Yeah,
Like one of the few things I'm like really,
I can
really
imagine.
proud of myself for finishing those two
Yeah,
degrees.
especially
So
like it's not even just like the kind of interview you had. It's like the kind of what do you call it? It's not even like just because you got a random degree. It's like the environment you were in. You had the kid, and then everything else is going on, and you still like stuck through it, and you got that's it. It's like a story. It's like a movie enough story. Okay.
yeah, actually I just turned 26 2 days ago.
Oh, happy birthday.
And yeah, thank you. And on my social media, I put 18 years ago a picture, the same picture in colors. I put it in as I don't know what's gonna happen in my future.
Yeah.
So like, but I do know who holds my future. So I'm gonna work really hard for it. So
Yeah.
that's the description of the picture, like in just the key points of the picture. But like as soon as I saw those pictures and I just learned how much I have changed
Yeah.
because I just changed it 2 days ago, the same picture, but it's in black and white now.
Yeah.
And in that picture, I wrote down like how I felt like 2 days ago, like how I felt personally, what
Yeah.
I've gone through. And then I actually, whenever I see these two photos, like when I contrasted, I could see like so much growth in me and so many things happened. And it just 8 years flashed by. I don't think I even lived those 8 years, but I have grown so much
Yeah.
that I couldn't believe my eyes. And I was so proud of myself.
Yeah, exactly. Who wouldn't be? All right. So sorry, the time's a little short right now. So I'm gonna just skip on a few questions ahead. And I want to get some advice from you, right? Okay. So personally, like I'm someone who always wants to do well and wants to be successful in the future, right? And like a big example of what you've been doing is I feel like you're someone who's very high performance woman, I could say. Like you work very hard because I understand like what it takes to be a 4 GPA student. And then to be a 4 GPA student, have to get like what was really like motivating you in those times when you're doing your master's, when everything's going on, and you're stressed and you're overwhelmed, like what's really pushing you to be not even just passing or just getting a degree, like to get that 4 GPA? Like what was really like pushing you at that moment?
Well, I do all of the bonus works.
Yeah, but yeah,
All these bonus assignments, I would just work on it. But like in the United States, it's really easy to study once you get your knack. So in the first 2 years of my bachelor's degree, I couldn't figure out like what exactly I should do to keep my grades up.
yeah,
So I've been trying really hard, but in the end, it's reading your syllabus really right.
okay,
So whenever you get your syllabus in the first day of class, I just jot down everything, like everything back to my notebook. Even though I have those syllabus printed with me,
yeah,
I still jot it down like on my notebook. And I actually, whenever I perform, like, in the finals, like when I always pre-analyze the grades.
yeah.
So for my finals, I took like 6 classes, 18 credits per semester by the end of um my bachelor's degree.
Yeah.
So what I did was like I jot down all the final grades. If I get this, like if I get 50 or more, I would get an A on this subject.
Okay, so you like plan it
So I
out.
don't study much for that one. So I
Ah,
just
okay.
read the whole thing over and then I'm done with it. And the
Yeah,
next one
but
is like maybe if I have to perform over like 90 or more, then I would get an A.
yeah,
For that one, I studied really hard.
yeah.
So I
And
think
see, the question I'm trying to ask you is not like practically how you did it. It's more like how could you make yourself do it? Like the motivation, the discipline. Is it just something that's naturally happens within you for you to work hard, or did you ever have problems with it?
well, it's not my parents, they don't like pressure us to get a good grade,
Yeah. So like,
but
what's that's what?
just the fact that they're paying the full tuition for my bachelor's degree
I get
was
you.
more than a pressure enough.
Yeah.
And there were
That.
no scholarship opportunities at my current university.
Yeah.
And all the discounts that I could get was $1,000 per semester for being a Dean's List student. So I have 7 times Dean's List out of 8. So for all those semesters, I got $1,000 off from my tuition,
That is.
and not much, but I tried to work by the end of my senior year to pay for my tuition, but
Yeah.
it didn't work out. I couldn't save up enough because I used to drive a car. I got a brand new car on a
Ah.
lease.
Okay. Yeah.
Everything was just invested back in my car and everything. So I think like the determination to be successful and just the pressure from my family,
Yeah.
like they don't pressure me all the time. I mean, they don't pressure me at all.
It's
And
just like
that's, I
it's
think
like
that's
they
the
put the
pressure that I'm
investment in you, you know what I mean? They put that trust in you with the money and the paying for the tuition. So you feel like it's not like a pressure. They're not like telling you, oh, do this, do that, do this. It's more like we're gonna give you this opportunity, and now you have that pressure of like, I want to do well with this opportunity kind of thing.
And then there's also always this pressure from my mom as well. She would go around saying, "Oh, my daughter, she studies in the United States.
Yeah,
She has a really good grades and everything. She's living the best life." And she goes around telling that to like all of my relatives. So I
I get
get
that. I
those
get
looks
that.
in my relatives. They're like proud of me, and I just want them to be proud of like
Exactly.
me, and I could, so that I can be like as successful as they want me to be. So I
Yeah.
think that's the only pressure that I got. So
Okay. Yeah.
there
I
was no
think
nagging about
maybe
it.
because the way you talk about how you got to places, right? There's no like pain behind it. So you're not like, I know there's a lot of like hard work and dedication you put into it, but like for you, it just seems like a natural thing. Like you've accepted that like to be successful, to get where you want to be in life, you have to work hard, and that hard work is not something like you have to worry about. Like that, like you just have like a naturally high level of discipline and hard work and determination, I feel like. And I've known you for a long time, considering you're my cousin, but you've always been like that. You've always been like just like naturally striving forward and trying to do things and do great things in the future. So I feel like motivation is never like a problem for you. I feel like, am I correct? Or
Yeah, it was never a problem for me. I couldn't understand those American kids who had no will to study.
yeah, exactly. Like you don't get it, you know?
Yeah,
And
I just don't get it. So
exactly, you just
I think, yeah, like Mongolian culture really do teaches you that kind of
yeah,
stuff.
we have that never give up mentality. It's something that's been
Yeah.
ingrained. Like if you ever give up, you quit on something, it's like you seem as like you're weak and you're not like strong enough kind of thing. So everyone is just kind of like raised to keep pushing forward, keep moving on, as that kind of thing. All
Yeah.
right. Our time is slowly ticking down. I can see on the top of the screen. Thank you so much for coming on and just sharing your life and sharing your stories. It was very nice to hear, and yeah, it's super inspiring to hear the situations you were in, the struggles you went through, and then how you came out of it, and now you're striving at a job you love with the family you love so much. Again, like it's the dream, to be honest. If you could tell anyone, would you want a loving family and a job you love? No one would say no, and you're living that dream right now. And it's not just you got lucky; it's like you got through it through the hard work and the determination you went through. So it's like there's nothing else to say. You're just winning right now. I feel like. Would you not agree with me?
Yeah, I do agree with you.
Yeah, we love that. We love that. All right. So yeah, thank you so much for coming on, and I would love to have you on again if you want to talk about something else, your future life maybe. We could spend a lot of time with your past this time. Maybe next time you want to talk about what your future plans, what you want to do later on in life. And yeah, thank you so much for having.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah,
And hello to all the viewers of Walbata.
yeah.
And he's a really great lecturer. Yeah, I think it runs in the family.
Definitely,
Does it?
definitely. I can see. All right, thank you so
All
much.
right.
Bye.
Thank you for having me. Bye.